Okay, yeah, the government invented Tang or something. Well, how much did it spend to invent Tang? You know, I mean, on the moon thing and all that crap. So, I mean, you know, there's got to be some sort of cost-benefit analysis. Well, maybe we should try to do something on purpose for a change. Like, let's have a government initiative to actually do something on purpose instead of doing it on accident. And you have to admit the Internet was an accident. It was a consequence of just having fail-safe communications technology for the military.
Because of those with passion enough to create and develop the structures necessary to achieve these goals, we are no longer merely a terrestrial species.
Whoop-de-frucking-do. So what? We're going to get a blowjob on the moon. Yay! Yeah, and how much it'll cost? How much? It'll be the most expensive blowjob in the history of mankind. Dun, 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 dun. Who cares?
We have taken our first steps off-world. With human eyes, we have looked back on our planet as a fragile and lonely blue marble. We have...
Well, really, I mean, you know, that's sort of your perception. I don't really see the marbly thing. You know, I see the idea of a biosphere and parasites living on it and shit. And, yeah, well, I mean, it's all, you know. You say potato, I say potato or something.
Manned outposts in space built by the communal efforts of over a dozen nations.
Get dusty and moldy, and you know they don't do crap up there. What do they do now? They watch fucking. They got the internet, right? So they watch porn up in the saddle, up there. They just sit up there and go around and around and around. And say, hey, guess what? We done this. Been there, done this. Yeah, it's getting a little boring. A little boring.
Our eyes have opened on the true nature of the universe, from the subatomic to the intergalactic.
Yeah, and what we haven't looked at is the little blob of goo. That's it. The goo inside of our frickin' heads. Little goo blob that's just a pile of addicted mush. I mean, it's just a little motivation device that keeps this little machine running through its paces, keep it running in its little hamster wheel to do that stupid propagating thing for no reason, but because some of you people keep thinking beauty is a word in our language that we should have some sort of respect for. Beauty is just the word it's the mechanism that propels the addict. Attraction. It's just a force of attraction, a force of addiction, a force of I somehow need to get from here to there, even though there's no rational reason. I'll do it anyway, and that's pretty lame. You're just owned by the DNA molecule, period.
Such achievements have permanently changed the way we look at our species. These achievements make me proud to be human, to be part of civilization.
Yeah, proud. I just don't understand how you can go from having any kind of honest perspective. I mean, what have we built everything out of, and for what purpose, for what end? Anything that human beings do, they usually do it out of some kind of self-interest. There's just nothing. There's nothing pretty in this mess that we've made, and it is a fucking mess. And so whatever. I mean, you're proud of Hiroshima. Are you proud of the carpet bombing at the end of World War II? I mean, you're proud of shock and awe. I mean, you seem to think it's something worth being proud of. It's a weapon you'd like us to keep throwing around the world. We're bigger than you. We're mightier than you. So fucking what? Doesn't make you better than them.
Whose cultural values aspire to the merit and challenges of discovery. A society that appreciates the virtue and need to create and support large research structures, that through their communal effort they can achieve for mankind, for the species, far more than it would ever be possible for the sum of their individual parts to achieve.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and there's so little of that that's done in any kind of efficient manner. We pay a huge price for all of this technology, this advancement, because it's done sloppy and always for a buck.
The moon is merely a simple and iconic expression of the virtue of expanding horizons. It is an emblem that anyone who looks skywards can grasp.
Yeah, and it's also a monument, okay, those little artifacts we left up there. It's a monument to futility, that there is nothing to be discovered, that all we're going to find is dust and dirt and shit and nonsense. Life is made up of crap. It has no designer. It's not an engineered piece of goods. It's not even a sloppy shack. It's a hole in the ground. It just doesn't have any other. It's not even that, because it never even had that much purpose. It's something no rational living thing can relate to, because it has nothing to do with rationality.
However, there are many such institutes dedicated to the growth of knowledge around the world that have contributed scarce less to mankind, yet few have ever heard of them. For instance, research.
Yeah, because they're not accomplishing a hell of a lot. They're spending a lot of money to do a hell of a lot of nothing. Pursuing nonsense. I mean, what they ought to pursue is some way to manage human civilization in some sort of survivable way, where we optimize the equation and create as little suffering for whatever we're chasing, whatever those who must chase think they're going to accomplish. Let's understand this is all a psychology game. You program the animal a little differently, and it doesn't need any of this stuff. It doesn't need any of this technology. It doesn't need a goddamn thing. It's all about that programming. So maybe we should be talking about the optimum human perspective. Maybe that's where we should be spending our research dollars, is to pursue an understanding of what the hell we are, rather than how we can feed what we have been made to be by one course of evolutionary history.
Neutron reactor in Grenoble, funded to the tune of about $100 million a year by half a dozen nations. The knowledge gained by this single research facility over the last 30 years has almost certainly affected the lives of everyone watching this video. Such institutions...
It'd be nice if you pointed out exactly how it accomplished that. From what I understand, most nuclear technology has pretty much been established. You know, it's stuff they blueprinted 25 years ago, but whatever.
To none of the aesthetic grace or obvious functional power of the mighty rockets. But I have looked into the core of this reactor and seen beauty. Now, I know what many of you will say. It's just a bunch of metal cans and radioactive pipes with a kind of pretty glowing swimming pool. Where's the beauty? The beauty does not come from what it looks like, but from what it represents. When I look at this reactor, what I see is almost an irrelevance. In my mind's eye, I perceive the symphony of mathematics, materials, nuclear physics, thermodynamics, and engineering, spawned from the pooled knowledge of mankind by a communal action.
Yeah, well, whatever. A communal action. So look at that. We're making all the little particles bounce around, I guess, through our communal action. Yeah, like, you know, whatever. All this technology stuff is fine. Yeah, okay. Let's keep doing experiments. Experiments are fun. Let's not fuck everybody over with our... Let's not be reckless. But you know, what's the argument here? Jeez.
Of a civilization and given form with a single intention of further expanding horizons. And
yeah, that's the part which is further expanding horizons. How have our horizons expanded? As individual human beings, I think we're basically after the same shit we've always been after. You know, let's not even describe it, but I mean, it's pretty crude at its core. We're ego-driven psychologies, and maybe we ought to find some way to contain us, put us in some sort of environment where we can gain all our little cheap thrills at a more perfect efficiency, because we're obviously in this world not doing it very efficiently. We've got billions of animals in cages, and we've got billions of human beings caged by circumstance.
Inspires me with hope for what such a civilization may yet achieve.
Ugh, I guess we can do without this music. So now I guess the rest of this is going to be some sort of Mars probe, so I'll just talk over that, I guess. this whole Mars thing is just so dopey. I mean, we went there 30 fucking years ago, picked up the soil, analyzed it, took pictures of everything. No, we know what the hell's there. This is just silly. They just keep dropping these little stupid robots on Mars like they're going to find something. You're not going to find anything. It's a waste of fucking money and time. Like I said, if this money was spent on virtual reality or even, like I said, figuring out ways to control human population, some sort of rational mechanisms of social development and change. But, you know, this is just all a bunch of bullshit. So what's all this? More music video. This is the way you communicate with human beings. You have to draw them pictures and play them music. Because why? Because they're psychology. Dumb, stupid psychology. That's, you know, impressed by, you know, pictures, cartoons. You know, that's why, you know, what Teletubbies, right? That's the best show you can raise a kid on is Teletubbies, because it has all these simple elements. Colors and little blobby things that move around and mumble, and that's human intelligence. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that, that's a thingamabob, and look at those little rockety thingies. Human Genome Project. That's a nice piece of video showing how the DNA molecule gets copied, which sort of is interesting. But anyway, the rest of this is just bullshit. La 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 la. Consumption and reproduction for absolutely no purpose possible, because we exist in a material universe that doesn't have a purpose. It's just a bunch of fucking chemistry. You know, pointless addiction. Let's make a beautiful video to pointless pursuits of our gratification. Look at all the magnificent ways we've figured out how to jerk off. Yeah, the eagle has landed. Yeah, that's a good line for the finish, right? The eagle has landed. Yeah, that's what you call that stuff. Yeah, on her breast there. that eagle landed. That would be a funny video. So anyway, yeah, that was just horrible. But this is this beauty in the universe bullshit. Oh, it's all so beautiful. Oh, we're such magnificent parasitical organisms feeding on the rest of the bullshit nonsense chemistry in such a magnificently beautiful way. No, we're a huge fail. So anyway, it's enough of a commentary. Yeah. Okay, so it's like 3 or 4 parts, right? But who cares? Not too many people are watching these videos anyway. So that's okay. I can make long, boring, stupid, inane videos, and it doesn't matter much. There's something else I wanted to point out. I can't remember what it was. Ooh, we can buy this song on iTunes. Yay! As the satellite technology provides us that ability to buy our songs. I think I'll use some satellite technology and buy me a song.